My name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. It's new catalog pre-order day, so I've been up for a really long time. I'm going to try and make it through this card. I did want to tell you that if you're watching this the day that I posted this video, that on Wednesday, May 13th, sometime after I get my order, because I overnighted it, I will be over on my Facebook page, and eventually it'll make it to YouTube, and I will show you all of the stuff that I pre-ordered that's from the upcoming 2021 catalog. So you'll want to hop over to my Facebook if you can catch it live. If you're on my email list, I'll send out an email and let you kind of know what time I'm thinking, and then on Facebook I'll give you some updates so I know once the box is here, because obviously I have to have it before I can show you. So I did want to let you know that that's going to be happening tomorrow. It'll be a ton of fun for you to see all of the new things. But this set, Forever Blossoms, it will be in the upcoming catalog as well. So no rush, except that you can kind of make your way through the list, your wish list, if you have it still there. So you have plenty of space left on that list for all the new stuff that's coming. And if you are interested in signing up to be a demonstrator, then you'd get $125 worth of stuff for $99, and you can get the pre-order stuff as part of your starter kit, and you get a whole box of new catalogs. So if you order from me, and if you've ordered from me online since like February, then you will have a catalog coming from me. If you want me to send you a catalog, then just go to my website. It's Cheri, C-H-E-R-I, at cheri.stampinup.net, and that'll get you a catalog. So I have some shimmer white cardstock, and you can see I've put all three of these on here so I can stamp them once. This is one of those cards where where it kind of looks like you have some coloring techniques, but if you find it a little bit challenging to use your blends, then this is the card for you, because you really don't have to do much. The blends are going to do all the work for you. And this set does have dies. It goes with the Paris suite, and the other set is not making it into the catalog. So if you like the one that has the Eiffel Tower and the other part of this, then you will want to get that before it retires. Let's see. I didn't space that very well. I should have done the big one first, but I was talking. So we'll put that on there. We may lose a tiny bit of that stem over there. I can't see if it's going to hit it or not. And then the paper that was fine. The paper that goes with this set, it's lovely, and I just have one sheet here. It's retiring, as is, I'm pretty sure the ribbon is. So any of that, and some of it may even be on sale. And some of it may run out, because you never know. I guess I didn't see it. That's what happens when I've had too much coffee and been up for way too long. So here's the saying out of the set. The saying doesn't have a, you can see where I've made the card before. The saying doesn't have a die, but it fits perfectly well in the new punch that's in the January to June mini catalog. That catalog also retires, so you want to make sure that anything out of there that you want, you check those lists. And I do have links to all the lists on my website. But you can see this fits perfect in here. So I'm making a really pretty spring looking wedding card. So let's get the die machine over. And you may have also heard the rumblings. I know I've been saying for a while that a new die machine is coming. And it will be in the new catalog. It won't be ready to order when the new catalog first gets to you, or when it goes live on June 3rd, I think it's the 3rd, because of all of the stuff that's going on in the world right now. Shipping times are delayed for a lot of products. In fact, our stamp pads and our cardstock are made in the U.S., as are our stamp sets. But right now, to keep people safe, the shifts at all the warehouse and factories out in Utah are working kind of staggered shifts. So shipping's taking longer, and the manufacturing is taking longer. So some of that stuff we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for to keep everybody safe. But that's what happens when, some of us get to work from home, and those that can't work from home because their jobs are making our stamps or shipping our things, they're doing it in a much more safe way, so there's fewer people there at a time. So they have fewer people there at a time, so there's more space. And so if anybody would get sick, they wouldn't take everybody out with them. They'd still have somebody left to go. So that just takes one pass through. There are 2 of these, and because I stamped that one in a funky place, I didn't roll that one through, but I have some spares over here from when I did my practice card. But they're just one pass. So pop these out. I like the way this one cuts, because I like when they do the centers. Because sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, I don't really need that die when it doesn't do anything super fancy. But when it cuts out these things here, and that really helps. And you can see that it got all of the stem, like the stem's not chopped off, but it has a little bit of white there. And I'm going to show you how to kind of take care of that. Get our flower. And then I'm going to pull one of these little rosebuds from the stash that I did earlier. A lot of times when I roll these through, like I roll them through to see what they do, or if I'm not sure what the card, like I was going to put a bunch more of those little rosebuds on the card when I originally made it, and it just doesn't need them, and it required more rolling, so I had extras. But after I've rolled those, I just keep them and I throw them back in the stamp set, because you never know. Occasion like this, you might just need one. So let's grab a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how to color these with your blends. A tip for you, it might be a little bit easier if you do it before you cut out, but it's not that big of a deal, because you know they can move a little bit when they're teensy tiny like this. So I don't have very many colors. You also want to remember, if you want any of the in colors that are leaving, which would be pineapple, clover, and lipstick of the blends, you need to get those before they're sold out, which could be any time because a lot of stuff is selling out. So you can see these stamps have a really beautiful stipple effect. I'm taking the dark of my sea foam, I believe it is, yep. And with the dark, I'm just gonna kind of go back over the stippled parts. I'm gonna let the Stampin' Up! Artist tell me where I need to shade. Because, you know, somebody who's much more artistic than I am came up with these. So if they've got stippling, then I'm putting the dark sea foam there. And then when I do these little stems, just go over bigger than what the design is, and that will kind of cover up some of that area. So I've done it once, and then I'm going to go back and hit all those dark areas one more time. Except this time, I'm not going to get all of them, because then the ones you don't get will be a little bit lighter, and you'll have one more shade. And in fact, I'm going to try to get these areas that are the darkest, where they have darker. I don't know if you can see it, but some of it is darker stippling than others. It's a beautiful, the way the stamp set stamps is just beautiful. Now I'm going to take my brush tip. The other one was my bullet, and I want to leave a little bit of white maybe even inside of them. They don't have to all the way be colored. And again, I'm going to lightly brush some green down there where that stem's bigger than what my card is. We just want a really light romantic effect for these, kind of vintage looking. So you can see now it looks like you've spent a lot of time coloring and highlighting and designing those. Really, we didn't spend any time at all. So I'm going to do the same thing with my dark petal pink. With the dark everywhere where they're stippling, I'm going to go in with my dark. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do it once all the way around. So if you have trouble using your blends because you don't really know how to blend, then this is a good way to practice, because let the artist do it for you on a stamp set like this, and then it kind of helps you figure out when you're doing it yourself. Now on these little rosebuds, I do want them to be darker. This didn't pop out right there. Because, you know, sometimes when the petals are all squished up in there, they're a little bit darker. So just, I'm going to go a little bit higher than the stippling on those. This is why if you color before you cut out, It's one or the other, because you color before you cut out, and then if something moves when you run it through your machine, maybe you spent time coloring and it cuts crooked. So there it is once. So you can see as it dries, it gets a little lighter. For these, I'm going to mostly go back in the middle, and I'm going to press a little bit harder and a little bit longer. Get those centers so they're nice and dark. Now you can see it looks like I've used 2 colors already, and I haven't switched markers. Kind of just get it up in there, and then the same on these little buds. I'm going to take one whole petal. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to color it, the whole thing, with the petal pink. So now you can see this is lighter than that. I'm going to do the same thing with the light petal pink that I did with the light seafoam. Take the brush tip this time and just kind of swish some color over it. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, because if you get a little bit of white in there, that'll give you some nice shading. So see, it really, the stamp set does a lot of the work on this for you, which is nice because we just want to color and have fun. We don't want to stress about how we color. So super pretty, super easy. And then I'm going to take the brush tip of, I think this is crumb cake. Yep, light crumb cake, because I'm going for really light colors. And again, I'm just going to kind of down there where that is a little bit bigger, just kind of swish over that, and then swish over all the stems, and then up into the little bits of the, and then I'm going to take this and a tiny little bit here in the middle just to darken those up. So one more little shade right there in the middle, but this is not so dark that it really, you can see that really gives it some depth there, but it doesn't, it's not like crumb cake. It just is a nice little highlight. So now we just have to stick this together, and it goes together super fast. So I have some smoky slate. Fold that in half. Oops. And then I have the cardstock that goes with the sweet. And I'm going to use Fast Fuse. The reason I'm using Fast Fuse is because I love it. And here's one of my secrets. Often when I'm stamping and you're not seeing, I'm using Fast Fuse because it was my favorite adhesive. I much prefer it to snail, truth be told, because it holds your stuff better. There is a little bit of a learning curve to using it, but once you have it, it's just a stronger thing. See that? You have to do this little check mark thing. Well, in the new catalog, we no longer have snail, and we don't have Fuse either, but we have a new Stampin' Up! Made system. It's called Seal, and the one container you can pop in both a snail-like and a Fuse-like thing. So you just have to buy one, and then you can use both. So here I've got this mounted on here, so that's why I'm using this, because now that we don't really have, I need a dimension. Now that we don't really have snail, if you do have a snail holder, you might want to get some refills for those if you're in love with it. The other stuff, you're going to get more of it on every spool, and it's supposed to work better. It comes in a little bag, and like I said, you'll just need the one case, and then you can pop in and out whatever it is you want to use. So I have my favorite white polka dot tool. And then this ribbon, I'm 99% certain that it is going away. It is Petal Pink, and it's in the same suite. I meant to check. Because we didn't have an event this year, it's been really hard for me. There's lots of reasons I go to events, but one of the main ones is because you get your catalog there. And I just find it much easier to work with a catalog. I love seeing all my friends and all the other demonstrators and love girl time, but when you get back and you're working with your retired stuff and trying to do new, I guess I should tell you what I'm doing. So take this. Sometimes I use glue dots on this one. I'm not going to, because there's just a little bit of ribbon. So you have one loop, and then just pull this center down, and then you have 2 loops. Super easy. We're doing a faux bow. We did a little bit of faux blend coloring, and now we're going to do a faux bow. Told you this card couldn't be any easier. You can see how much stickier that Fuse is. Because a snail really wouldn't do this. I would have to use something else. Again, loop, and then just grab this And because I've got the fuse, it would hold. If I had my snail, I would be using a glue dot right now to put this in place. But the fuse will hold it. And then I'm just going to take it dimensional and pop it right there on top. Over that ribbon is. You can see how much stickier that is than snail if you've not used fuse. Some people didn't like fuse because, like I said, it had a little bit of a learning curve, but they've assured us that our new, I think it's Seal 2, the one that's like fuse, that it doesn't have that. So now you almost have made like a little tiny boutonniere. Isn't that cute? So just pop this on here. And then we're just going to fill any empty space in with these remaining little doodads. Oops. I said it's stickier, so let's put this. I kind of laid this in a different spot than I did my other one. I'm going to give this one a tiny bit of dimension. You could put it on a dimensional if you want. Maybe I will. And I can stick my leaf underneath it. Let's put that there. And stick this leaf here and kind of roll it up too so it has a little bit of dimension. And then we have these two little, almost like a boutonniere. They're so cute. And then I wanted to remind you that in May, if you have ordered from my website anytime since about February, then you will have a catalog coming to you when I get them. If you haven't ordered since February, then you will need to place an order on my website to get one. And I have the links everywhere. Wherever you're watching this, you can find the link. So as part of my thank you, I'm trying not to get it stuck on the scrap paper like that. As part of my thank you gift for May, you get the free catalog. Here's the card, my other card. So simple. And it looks like, I know for those of you that are a little bit of afraid of blends, it looks like somebody really took a lot of time coloring with that blend, and you saw it didn't take any time at all. Sometimes I skip. You know, you'll watch my videos and I like show you one flower and then I skip. I wanted to color that all in so you weren't like, well, she was probably coloring for 20 minutes before she came back, because you saw I wasn't. So in May, go back to that. If you want a catalog and you haven't ordered, just place an order any size. So any size order will get you the catalog. It will also get you one of my card kits for my last chance online card class. And here's some of the different cards that went out in April, a couple of them that I've started for May. You will get the instructions to complete 5 of these cards. Everybody gets different ones. Everybody gets 5, but 5 different ones. So you get that. And then you also get an invitation to the Facebook party that I do with my other demonstrators. There's 7 of us. Fabulous, fabulous. If you've not been to one of our Facebook parties, you are missing it, because the girls are super good. If you think I'm a good stamper, you should see them, because fabulous. And we all stamp very differently. But there will be tons of door prizes. We will have specials. And the only way to get in to that Facebook party for this month, a lot of months, it's just anybody can watch us. This month it's a special because it's a preview, and that's on May 22nd. So that's what I have for you today. Super easy card, but remember the paper and the ribbon, some stuff is leaving, and there's a lot of stuff that's on clearance and a lot of stuff that's on sale. So make sure you go to my website. It's Cheri, CHERI.stampinup.net, and you can check out all of the stuff. Or if you go to my website, I have all the links for the retired list there too as well. Have a great day. Bye.